If you see a temple fair in a Chinese village for the first time, you may think it is just a small local market. People shoot balloons. People play ring toss. Someone holds a meat skewer, almost 3 feet long. And someone dresses like Sun Wukong, the Monty Ting, standing in the crowd and taking photos with children. For many rural children, this is not just a market. It is one of the few days in the year when a quiet village suddenly feels like a small amusement park. I am Yaya. I grew up in a small village near Jincheng, Shanxi. When I was a child, if I heard that the village temple fair was coming, I would feel excited the night before, because on that day, the road near the village entrance changed completely. On normal days, that road was quiet. In the morning, people rode to the fields. At noon, someone went to the small shop to buy salt, vinegar, or a bottle of water. In the evening, older people sat near their doors and watched who passed by. But on the temple fair day, small stalls started appearing early in the morning. Food sellers set up their stalls. Toy sellers opened their boxes. The ring toss stall placed small prizes in rows. At the balloon shooting stall, colorful balloons covered a large board. Children could see it from far away. For people from a city, this may look like only a few more stalls. But for a rural child, it feels like the whole village suddenly lights up. That day, my family also left home early. My mother packed a few things and told me not to run around. My father said that when there were too many people, a child could disappear into the crowd very quickly. The older person in our family also wanted to go. She did not have to buy anything. She just wanted to sit near the stage for a while and see if she could meet some old familiar faces. This is what makes the temple fair interesting. People go there for different reasons. Children go for games. Young people go for the crowd. Older people go to meet others, listen to the performance, and walk around. Mall vendors go there to make a day's business. And the whole village is brought together by all these different reasons. When we reached the village entrance, there were already many people. The first thing that attracted me was the balloon shooting stall. The seller held a toy gun and kept shouting, "Hit the balloons and win a prize." On the board, there were small toys, little decorations, and bright things that children loved. Children stood in front of the stall and stared. Adults knew that winning was not always easy. Many parents still gave a few dollars and let their children ride once. Not because the prize was worth a lot, but because at a temple fair, child is waiting for the feeling of I can play too. Next to it was the ring toss stall. On the ground, there were rings, toys, bows, small decorations, and other little things. When someone threw a ring and almost got it, people nearby would say, "So close." That sound is part of the temple fair. People do not really care that much about the prize. They are pulled into that small moment. When I was a child, I loved watching others play ring toss. You always feel the next ring may win. But when it is your turn, the ring always misses by a little. That is the fun of the fair. It may not give you anything big, but it makes you want to try again. Then we walked to the sugar painting stall. Sugar painting is not just candy. The seller takes hot sugar syrup and draws with it on a flat surface. He can draw a bird, a butterfly, a dragon, or Sun Wukong, the monkey Ting. When the syrup first touches the surface, it is bright and hot. After a short time, it becomes a golden piece of sugar. Children stand around and watch. Everyone wants to see what shape they can get. For many rural children, sugar painting feels magical. It is food. It is also a picture. You watch it slowly become a shape, and you feel that the person making it is very skilled. He does not use a pen. He only uses a spoon of sugar. Later, when I grew up, I understood that a temple fair is not only about buying and selling. It also brings some old skills in front of children. Wood carvings are like that too, at a quieter stall. There were small animals. small people, and little decorations made from wood. It was not as loud as balloon shooting. It did not smell as good as the food stalls. And older people and adults stopped to look. They touched the wood and looked at the details. There was also a paper cutting stall. Red paper was cut into flowers, birds, window patterns, and lucky designs. For a child, these things may not be as exciting as toys, but when they are placed at a temple fair, the road is not only about food and games. There are also hands, skills, and things older people know well. Of course, the busiest part is the food. You can smell temple fair food from far away. Fried food, grilled meat, sweet smells, spicy smells, hot air rising from the stalls. I remember one kind of meat skewer that was almost 3 feet long. It looked very big in a child's hands. For children, it was not just food. It was almost like a prop. When someone walked through the crowd holding it, other children would look at it. My mother usually did not let me eat too much by myself. She would say, "This is too big. You can buy one and share it." At that time, I thought it was not enough. Now I understand that many temple fair foods are not only for filling your stomach, they are for the smell, the look, the feeling of holding them, and the memory of that day. There was also a person dressed as Sun Wukong. He held a golden staff and stood in the crowd. Some children were afraid and did not want to get too close. Some children were very excited and pulled their parents over to take photos. Sun Wukong is a character many Chinese children know. He comes from the famous story Journey to the West. But at the temple fair, he is not just a character on TV. He stands in front of you. He moves. He talks. He makes poses. For a child, this feels very fresh. This is why a rural temple fair is so interesting. It is traditional. There is a temple, incense, a stage, and things older people know well. But it is also modern. There are balloon games, ring toss, phone photos, and people dressed as characters. These things do not feel strange together. Because a temple fair is not a neat and quiet place, it puts many things people like, need, want to see, and want to buy onto the same road on the same day. Near the temple, there were even more people. Some people went in to burn incense. Some stood outside and waited for family members. Some only passed by and looked at the crowd. For some families, the temple fair is connected with belief. For others, it is more like a special village day. They may not know much about the rituals. They may not burn incense, but they still come. Because there is a stage. There are stalls. There are familiar faces. And there is a reason for the whole family to go out together. Many older people sat in front of the stage. Younger people stood behind them. When the drums began, people slowly gathered around. If you hear it for the first time, you may think it is too loud. But for many older people, that sound is familiar. When they were young, there were not many forms of entertainment in the village. Going to a temple fair, watching a performance, and visiting relatives were important parts of the year. Now everyone has phones. You can watch almost anything online, but many older people still like to sit under the stage for a while. Not because they have no other entertainment, but because that scene makes them feel that village life is still here. The older person in my family sat near the stage and watched carefully. Someone nearby recognized her and came to say hello. They did not say much. You came too? How is your health? Did your children come back? These words are short, but in the village, they are not empty words. They are a way to ask how someone is doing. They are also a way to stay inside the same circle of life. When I was a child, I did not understand this. I only thought adults stopped too often. Later, I understood. For older people, going to the temple fair is not only about watching the performance. It is also about meeting people on normal days. Many people are busy with their own lives. Some are in the fields, some are in the county town, some work far away, some are old and do not go out often. But on the temple fair day, many of them appear on the same road. You do not need to make plans. You just walk there, and you may meet someone you have not seen for a long time. That is the difference between a temple fair and a normal market. A normal market is mainly for buying things. The temple fair also has buying and selling. But it also lets people meet. It lets people stop. It lets people say a few words. After noon, there were more and more people. The road became more crowded. My father started telling us to go home. It was not because he did not want to stay. He was worried that if we left too late, the older person would get tired, and the road would be too crowded. Going to a temple fair looks like fun, but for a family, there are many small things to think about. When should we leave? Where should we go first? What does the child want to play? How far can the older person walk? And we carried the things we bought. Should we go back before the crowd gets too big? These things are small, but if nobody thinks about them, they become trouble. On the way back, I held some food in my hand. My mother had one more bag. My father walked in front and watched the road. The older person walked slowly. She was smiling. She met another person she knew and stopped to talk for a few words. When I was a child, I thought, why are we stopping again? Now I understand. Those few words may be the reason she wanted to come. She was not only there to buy something. She was not only there to watch the crowd. She wanted to feel that she was still part of village life. Someone still knew her. Someone still asked about her health. Someone still remembered which family she belonged to. In the evening, the temple fair slowly ended. The balloon shooting seller started taking down the balloon board. The ring toss stole packed the small prizes back into boxes. The sugar painting surface was cleaned. The meat skewer stove still had a little heat. The person dressed as Sun Wukong took off the head cover and sat by the road to drink water. The road that was so lively during the day slowly returned to its normal look. When my family got back to the courtyard, the sky was getting dark. I was still looking at the things in my hands. The older person sat near the door to rest. My mother put the food we bought on the table. At that time, I only thought the day was fun. Later, I understood that what makes a rural temple fair memorable is not only the sugar painting, the ring toss, or the very long meat skewer. It is that, for one day, a quiet village becomes full of people. Children cannot move away from the stalls. Older people sit under the stage and listen for a while. Small vendors do a day's business by the road. But carvings and paper cuttings are picked up and looked at again and again. Sun Wukong stands in the crowd, and children run after him. All these things together become a very special day in the village. If you only look at the surface, you may think a temple fair is just noisy. But if you come closer, you will see a quiet connection inside it. It lets children remember that their village can also be fun. It lets older people meet familiar faces again. It gives small vendors and craftspeople a place to be seen. It also gives a family a reason to go out together and slowly walk home together. I make this channel not to make rural life sound mysterious, and not to turn ordinary days into a big lesson. I just want to show that many scenes in rural China are easy to misunderstand if you only look once. You may see noise, old traditions, or busy thing, but if you follow one family through it, you will see a child's excitement, an older person's social life, a small vendor's work, and a village becoming warm and lively for a short time. A temple fair is not only about stalls and incense. It is an ordinary village road becoming a temporary amusement park. It is a sugar painting in a child's hand. It is an older person smiling under the stage. It is also the moment when an ordinary village suddenly lights up for one day. If you want to understand more about the real daily life of ordinary Chinese people, you can follow me. In the next episode, I will keep showing you the everyday China that may not be loud. is very real.